New actors and characters for Section 31, races from Voyager, and some possible links from an old Discovery episode. Coming right up. Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, today we're talking about Section 31. A few more details have gradually emerged into some more information about this new made-for-TV movie that we're likely to be graced with, I'm guessing early in 2025. I'd be very surprised if it hit our TV screens in late 24. I think there's still probably a little bit too much work to be done in terms of post-production and so forth. I would think we're more likely to get trailers and so forth for it in the second half of this year for a 2025 release. But thanks to some details that slowly creep in on IMDb, we're kind of getting a little bit of a sense of what sort of bits and pieces we might get to see in this new Star Trek TV movie. Now, I did a video last week about casting and so forth in both Section 31 and in Starfleet Academy, talking about Paul Giamatti's involvement in Starfleet Academy and also James Hiroyuki Liao's role in Section 31. Now, based on the synopsis and the description of his character in this show, I speculated last week that he might be playing Georgios' dad. We now know that is not the case, but I think there still could be a definite connection there to Georgio in some sort of family context. The reason I know that is that IMDb has recently listed two actors as Georgios' parents in the Section 31 show. We have Cindy Go playing Georgios' mum, and we have Houston Wong playing Georgios' dad. Now, neither of these actors have been interviewed in the same capacity that James Hiroyuki Liao's been interviewed last week in terms of commenting on his character and everything. But now knowing that whose Georgios' parents are, I have a feeling that maybe James Hiroyuki Liao is playing this role that we kind of heard of in Discovery. We had some flashbacks in an earlier season where Georgiou was kind of lamenting a character called San. Whether this was an old flame of Georgiou's that was killed, or maybe even her brother. I do think the description of his character does make it sound like he shared a very similar personality type to Georgiou. So I wonder whether his character, in fact now, could be her brother or just an old flame or something that maybe influenced her quite significantly growing up, maybe. There are certainly story threads in terms of that whole flashback stuff that went on during Discovery with her when her brain was going haywire and everything because she was sent too far away from her universe or whatever, and she was sort of breaking down or whatever it was in season 3. So I wonder whether they're going to be tying up all of those threads that were introduced in there but never really kind of paid off in any kind of way. The other piece of news we have is from the actor Ava Blackwell. She's playing a Vardir character. Now, Vardir are a race from the Delta Quadrant we saw introduced in Star Trek Voyager. So this would seem to imply that our journey in the Section 31 movie takes us to the Delta Quadrant. I know during Discovery there was a lot of jumping around in terms of races and everything, where we had Delta Quadrant races and Alpha Quadrant races and everything in that show, because obviously I guess by the time we get to 32nd Century Discovery, all the quadrants of the galaxy are accessible on a regular basis. That being said, we kind of know that there's a little bit of time jumping or time hopping going on in the Section 31 show, and that part of that is taking place in the Lost era of Star Trek, which is defined as that era in between Star Trek 6 Undiscovered Country and Encounter at Farpoint, the first episode of Next Generation. But it seems like the Vardir, or at least a Vardir character, is involved in this Section 31 show in some capacity. The Vardir were a humanoid species from the Delta Quadrant. They were characterized by small ridges on their chins and two horizontal ridges above their noses. The ridges on the Vardir faces give them very sharp features. Large fin-like crests ran across the center of their foreheads, becoming wider as it reached the tops of their skulls. The hair grew from around the mid-region of their skulls, which is where the fin ridges seem to end. They kind of had an appearance a little bit kind of, I guess, Cardassian-esque in some capacity. That sort of cobra-like neck fin thing going on. And we saw the Vardir in the Voyager episode Dragon's Teeth. And a heavily modified Vardir ship was later encountered by Voyager in the Void episode as well. So they haven't had an extensive coverage in Star Trek, but they've there've been a few references and a few comments and that one main episode, Dragon's Teeth, from Voyager, which we saw them in. This was the episode when Voyager seeks refuge from alien attackers on the surface of a devastated planet. They find a small group of people who have survived in suspended animation for almost 900 years. So slowly but surely we're getting little crumbs of information come out about our new Section 31 movie. Interesting to know that we're going to be seeing a bit of Georgios' upbringing in this, with the appearance of Georgios' parents in this film, as well as the appearance by Delta Quadrant races such as the Vardir. What do you think about this? Does this interest you? Does this kind of think, oh, this is sounding interesting, this show? Or are you going to go, whatever, I don't really care? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. We'll get chatting about that. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, please be sure to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. And also be sure to check out all my merch in the merch store. Plenty of cool Star Trek t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, caps, stickers, you name it. Plenty of cool stuff there. It is generally all pretty well discounted prices and help support the channel at the same time. I'll be back soon with the next video. I'll catch you guys soon.